to show you exactly how to get to the virtual instruction template that you're going to have to use for your TK20 virtual instruction upload. And so, what the first thing that you're going to need to do is this is our Bent link, and you need to come to our clinical teaching orientation site. And everything you need is going to be in this site. So once you are logged in, and you will go and get to the virtual instruction template. You're going to click on it. Then it says use this lesson plan template to build your virtual instruction for virtual learning. So you're going to want to click on that, make a copy, and then it's going to open up for you and look like this. Once you get on this template, you can go up here and you can name it. You can put your name in here if you want. Take that copy of out and put your name. And then you're going to want to fill this out. So you're going to put your name, the grade, your date. This is where you're going to want your missile lesson as well. You want to go in and find your missile and have it ready for you to be able to pull information and copy and paste stuff over. So inside here, this is virtual instructions for virtual learning. So what you're going to look at is a curriculum, and we're going to look at, you're going to take one of your lessons, and if you took one of your missile lessons and turned it to an e-learning experience or had it for a remote experience, this is how you would build it. And that's what you're going to use this template for. And so everything that you need is inside this template, but you are going to have some different items that you have to go get from. You're not going to reinvent the wheel here. You're just going to go get one of your like your objectives for your first lesson or your second lesson, and you're going to pull them over here and put them in here, and that's why you need access to your missile. So everything you need is inside here. So we're going to have the ISTE student standards, and this is all the technology standards that you're going to use for your lesson. So when it says ISTE, inside of here, you're going to go in and you're going to see these standards. This is every one of the standards that are there. You can push the plus sign and you can get to, this is like, just like the TEKS, like 1.1a, 1.1b. You're going to have to look at these and see which ones will go with your lesson that you have already created, that if you were flipping it and turning it into an e-learning experience, then this is what you would look at. So if we're looking here and you were using something like Flipgrid and you want to put Flipgrid in there, then you would say students building networks and learning environments and customizing. That would be something that you would use. So you would do 1.1 empowered learner, and then 1.1b would be building networks, okay? And learning how to communicate. That is going to be something that you can go in and grab. But these are your standards that you're going to use along with your TEKS. I also have the TEKS in here, but you already have your TEKS for your lesson, and that's something that you'll be able to pull over. The other thing is that you need a best practices virtual learning curriculum. And so I've already established that for you. We're going to use this link right here for those. So this is like your best learning practices and virtual learning experience. So right here, we're going to look at this when it says the virtual learning environment. So we're going to go in here and look at this, and it says identify the virtual learning setting you will be teaching in. The setting, if you go into those best practices right here, this right here is the setting. Is it going to be synchronous learning? Is it going to be asynchronous? Is it going to be blended? Is it going to be remote? You can go in, you can copy and paste this over there. So you'll go over here and you'll copy and paste. And what I would say is the remote learning, you want it to sound academic. So the remote learning setting that will be best for my lesson will be, and then you'll say synchronous learning, and then you'll go get that definition off of here. So go ahead and do that because it says that you need a curriculum. So you're going to go ahead and go in and go get that. These do not have to be huge. These can be one sentence, 2 sentences, that kind of thing. You want it to sound academic though, so don't forget about that. Then it asks, what virtual learning best practice do you plan to attach? So, best practices: building relationships, communicating with parents, provide clear instructions, design and facilitating, making learning relevant. So, where you would go is for best practices. So, you would go right up here, you would go into that link. If you scroll down underneath, here's your environment and setting. These are your best practices. So, building relationships, that's what this is. So, you would pull words from here. There's also examples in here that you can find. So, work to build relationships with students early and often. Relationships are essential for virtual environment. It is important to build community among students. So if you're using something like Flipgrid as an assessment or something like that, you would be building relationships. So you would go in here and you would say building relationships, and then you would pull words from here. You can pull words in from here. If you copy and paste it, you copy and paste it, but you can pull words in here and build sentences and different things that you need inside here. So then it says, what ISTE student standard do you plan to apply? You're going to go into those ISTE standards and you're going to go find what best you think will go with the lesson that you're going to pull over into here. What's going to be the best? And you're going to find that and then you're going to pull those in. And you're going to go ahead and I would write them out. I would write it out just so it looks fuller. And then how did these things influence your planning and assessment decision? You would say, if make specific connections between student and best practices. So what you would say is, if I taught this lesson in a remote experience, you would type that in a remote experience, then building relationships and having relationships in a technology environment is going to be super important. That's the kind of thing that you're going to put down in here. Then you're going to go on to instructional design. So what you're going to do is go find your missile lesson. Let's say you did your lesson one and you're going to pull over your learning objective. So this is in your lesson one part. So not your overall unit objective, but this is just your lesson objective. Remember, we're just adapting one of your lessons to a technology experience. So it's like if you had to turn this lesson into a technology experience. So you're going to go grab that objective, copy and paste it over. You're going to come into this. Go ahead and put your teak that you use for that. Then you're going to go in. Look right up here. You've already claimed your ISTE as standard because you've already written it up in here. So this says what ISTE. So look at that number 2. You're going to go whatever ISTE standard you put here. You're going to put it in here. Virtual learning best practice. That's going to be whatever you put in here. So is it building relationships? Communicate with parents? Which is it? And you're going to put that inside of here. And you're just going to write it. Okay. Then it's going to say assessment. So what we want to know is whatever assessment, let's say your assessment that you did on your lesson was paper and pencil. Well, paper and pencil isn't going to work if this was a remote experience. So you're going to have to go in here and put whatever you did for your assessment. Think about how you could turn it into a digital thing. So would it be Seesaw assessment? Would it be a Google form? Whatever it is, you're going to put what that is inside of here. So you would need to think about how you can apply that. Then you're going to say, what platform did you use? And you're going to go in and put what platform that is. So if you're going to say right here, we did a Google form. If right in here you say we did assessment 1, we're going to do whatever assessment that it is. You're going to say this was a pre-thing. The platform I used was either Flipgrid, or if it was Google Forms, it was Google Classroom, whatever you used. Then you're going to go into lesson 1 objective assessment measures. So go look at that. You should have that already on your lesson plan that you did on your missile. And then how will you differentiate in accommodations for virtual and remote. So you can go in here and write in, for my SPED, I would do this for them virtually. This is what they would have. They might have a Google form that has, or they might have a Jamboard that has a dictionary, word bank. Whatever it is, you're going to type that in here on how you would accommodate for them virtually. Then down here, we're going to say what instructional materials, resources, technology platforms I'm just wanting to know. So you're going to say lesson one resources. What resources did you use? You're going to go in, you already have this, so go and look at whatever you have inside your deal. Learning objective that's supported, you would be supporting whatever learning objective that you put up here. Then you're going to go put that down in here, and then you're going to say whatever ISTE standard that you are having apply to those, you're just writing those in. So you probably have it up here. It's just kind of rewriting it and putting it in here. Then you're going to go in and you have to make these. So you already have this written out. You can copy and paste yours over, but you want to make it for a virtual experience. So if your hook is an anchor chart or something that you did in class, you need to think about how would you make that digital. So you want to go in and put that as your hook and what you're going to do. Then you just need to turn those like that. And then when it says what best practice technology platform used for virtual learning, so what was your best practice examples? So best practice examples were building. So if you said building relationships, so remember your best practices are here. And if you're saying building your relationships, building relationships was yours, then what technology platform did you use to build relationships? Maybe it's Flipgrid. Maybe it's whatever. So you would say building relationships and Flipgrid. Okay. And then what virtual learning setting? Don't forget that is whatever you put in this first one. Is it synchronous learning, asynchronous, blended? Is it remote learning? So you have to decide what those are for yourself. And then you do have to do these reflections. So you're just going to go through and say, how does having the knowledge of the ISTE standard help you empower student voices? So how does having a technology standard help you with effectiveness of learning engagement procedure? Once you know that you're building relationships, that helps you understand that you would be using a platform like Flipgrid or something like that. So you want to talk about what it is inside of here. These do not have to be massive or huge. Just make sure that you reflect. Future planning. How will a virtual learning curriculum help you plan for the future lesson that might be remote setting? What adjustments would you make? So just say what adjustments you made here. What did it help you to have best practices? Understanding that you're building relationships, that Flipgrid would connect to that. That should all be something that would be evidence for your future learning. And then e-learning platforms. What other e-learning platforms would enhance the virtual learning experience? Just start labeling out some, like Google Classroom, Google Forms, Flipgrid, whatever you have in here that could be extra that could have been placed inside of here. That's what you want in here. And it's fine to belittle them out or list them. I'm fine with that kind of reflection. That's okay. So that is what you're going to do. Once you get this completed, you are going to go into your TK20, and under your pending tasks, it's going to say virtual learning instruction. And if it doesn't say that, you need to call me or email me, and we'll make sure that you get that. I only had one student that didn't have it. So if you don't have that, but you should be able to click that. And once you click it, you'll just upload this like normal. So what I would do is, once you've done working with this, I would do file, download as either a Microsoft Word or a PDF. So go ahead and download those as that. Then you'll come in here under your pending task where it says virtual learning instruction. You'll click that, and then you'll upload that and you'll submit it. Make sure that you submit it. That's how you're going to do the virtual learning experience. It should be fairly easy. Email me if you have questions. Thank you.